my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome to my channel, and today's video is going to be my September reading wrap-up. September, not a great reading month for me. Not at all. Didn't read nearly as much as I wanted to. I also didn't finish what could have been my only 5-star read of the month in The Summer of Bitter and Sweet by Jen Ferguson. Didn't finish it before the end of the month. Didn't finish it before summer ended, which is the one that I'm actually really mad about because summer is actually in that title. But you know, that's how it goes sometimes. I did finish 4 things this month. Their content warnings will be linked down below in the description. And with that, let's just go ahead and start talking about them. The first book that I finished in the month of September is Jujutsu Kaisen Summer of Ashes, Autumn of Dust. This is a light novel. This is a collection of stories that take place in the Jujutsu Kaisen world around the time of season 1 of the show, or just those earlier manga chapters. So you don't have to be too far into JJK to read this without spoilers or context, which was nice because I am caught up to the anime, but I am not too far into the manga yet at all. My initial reaction to this book was that it was nice, but not really necessary. Like, if this was a lesser series with lesser characters, then I probably would have been pretty bored. But because it's them, they get away with it. But since reading the sequel to this book in October and also just continuing to watch the show, I've kind of changed my opinion on this book. It's extra stories, but I do think that they gave me more insight into the characters and into their relationships in a way that really benefited my own relationship with this series. And I do appreciate this book for that, and I especially appreciate the sequel to this book for that. I didn't love every story in here, I didn't love every moment in here, and the actual physical text was just incredibly small, but I am really glad that I ended up reading this, and I gave it 3.75 out of 5 stars. Next up is Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. This is a story about a demon and an angel who team up together to stop the apocalypse by finding and stopping the Antichrist. Most of my September was actually taken up by Good Omens the show, which I love that for them, hate that for my reading life. And I can definitely say that I didn't fall in love with this story until I watched the show, and even though I do have an appreciation for this book, I just didn't love it, and I didn't love it nearly as much as I thought that I would. I didn't love the writing style. I found it hard to read at times. This book also tends to go off on tangents a lot, which when that was good, it was good. But a lot of the times I found it hard to get into or to even care, and same with the humor. Again, when it was good, it was really good. I will also say that this book came out in the 90s. There were a couple of moments that I was side-eyeing. Most of my enjoyment of this book were when Aziraphale and Crowley were on the page. Loved them even more after watching the show. And I also did like Anathema, but when they weren't on the page and the story wasn't like actively progressing, I definitely did struggle with this, and I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars. Next up is This Winter by Alice Oseman. This is a novella that takes place in the Heartstopper universe. It's like Solitaire .5. This novella was broken into different point of views, which I really loved. After reading Solitaire, I've grown to really appreciate Tori's character, so I found her chapter to be really interesting. But Oliver was also kind of the star here. Not gonna lie, he deserves every and all good things that could ever happen to him, and they all do. But his point of view was just like a little bit extra heartwarming and wholesome. But that being said, this is a darker storyline. It of course has its cute and wholesome moments, especially Nick and Charlie and the artwork at the end of it. And there were cute moments between the family members as well. What I will say about this novella is that it did remind me of just kind of everything else from this series. I didn't expect too much from it, but I still kind of feel like there could have been more. And there were definitely times where I felt like I was rereading things that I've already read from this universe. So they get a 3.75 out of 5, but I did love all of the little moments that this book gave me because, like, it's still Heartstopper, it's still these characters. And the last book that I finished in the month of September is We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. This is the 3rd book in the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy, 3rd and final book in the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. The Summer I Turned Pretty follows our main character Belly, who spends every summer at a beach house with her mom, her brother, her mom's best friend, and her two sons, Jeremiah and Conrad, who have never noticed our main character despite her noticing them. That is until they do one summer, and then everything begins to change for the better and for the worse. I hated this one, but it was so ridiculous that it's probably one of the more fun reads that I've read this year, which I am so mad about, but I do want to give this book some credit for that because I feel like I have to. Because there were some moments in this book that unintentionally made me laugh out loud really hard. And I did feel a certain level of investment in this story, which I wish I didn't, but it was there. And it was also a super quick read, but it was also definitely my least favorite of the three. I can only hope that the show goes in a different direction than this because I don't think I can go through the storyline more than once. Like, I hate even thinking about it, and I actually care about the show and the characters there, so I'm really gonna need that change. There were so many moments throughout this entire series, but especially this last book, where the characters on the show and the characters in the book just felt like separate characters, separate people entirely, which was kind of wild. I will say that I like the ending of this trilogy more than I expected to going into it. It made sense for the way that the last book went. We'll Always Have Summer is going to be a 1.5 out of 5 stars for me. I had fun, so at least there was that. Okay, so those are all the books that I finished in the month of September. My favorite read was definitely the JJK light novel. And with that, that is all that I have for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that, and hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye!